Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Amber and I'm here with another fun painting. Actually, this painting that we're working on was kind of a test to see if I like this background, and it did not work out, so this one got tossed in the garbage.
No worries, I have other things to work on, so no time for sadness.
And now we start on the painting. This painting is named Confetti. It did have a name change. It was not intended to be called Confetti, but now it is. This is Lemon and Sunshine, bringing you all things warm and bright. And today we are working on this beautiful three-dimensional coral and marbled background, and then we're going to have coral and lime green flowers. Now this painting was planning to be named Limeade because I just felt like that's what it was going to look like, and I was wrong. You know, sometimes you make a painting and it doesn't want to be what you decided it would be. It wants to have a different vibe, and that's okay. Today we're using tons of paint because we're gonna make a couple pretty big peonies. Now I love piping peonies so much. They are probably one of my favorite flowers to paint aside from roses. I love a rose too. It's just such a beautiful classic shape. Here we're gonna start with an intricate center, and I started with green, and then we're gonna take this circle tip and we're just gonna pipe lots and lots and lots of little stamens. And I've sped this up for you quite a bit because it took me a really long time to pipe each of those individual stamens. You know, each of these paintings that I create, they are very time consuming and they are very detailed, and I have a lot of fun doing it, but it does take me quite a long time. So each painting will take me at least several weeks. Sometimes it could take a month or more. And this is how it looks wet. It dries down and shrinks just a little bit as time goes on. One of the most common questions I get asked is, how long does it take for these flowers to dry? And because each part is done in layers, right? So I start with the flower. The flower is gonna have to dry at least a couple days to a couple weeks, depending on the size. These flowers are larger, so these will have to take at least a week, maybe two. After that, I will peel all of the flowers off the back, and I will then get the background ready. The background's gonna have to dry for like a day or two usually. And then we're going to pipe a bunch of wet paint as a mound, as a base for the bouquet. And then we are gonna start adding in the flowers. And once this is all done, usually the painting is close to finished, and it will need to dry for a week to 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the size. After that, or even during that process, if I feel like it's safe enough for me to go in and add some colors and details to the flowers or background, I can go in and do that. Each set of adding details shouldn't take me too long, but it depends like how many layers I want to add. So it can take me a couple days to figure out if I'm like completely happy with it. So all in all, it takes me weeks to months to bring a bouquet to life, especially if I'm very picky about how the flowers look compared to the photos I'm trying to recreate. Sometimes I am more artistic and I don't follow the photos directly, but if I'm recreating your wedding bouquet, I really want it to be perfect, and then I am much more critical, and I actually will just put flowers to the side and say, those aren't good enough, let me repipe them. And so that will always make the process longer because now I have to pipe another set of flowers and wait for those to dry in order to get to the bouquet. So that's kind of like what you can expect for lengthwise of how long it takes me. But of course, each painting is different, and smaller paintings will always take less time. But if I'm creating a very large painting, like let's say 24 by 36 or bigger, that is going to take a minimum of 2 months. And honestly, I love big projects, and it is my dream to do like a mural, a 3D floral mural. I think, oh my God, that would just be the coolest experience ever. So if you know anyone who wants a 3D floral mural either in their house or for an event or in a restaurant, please reach out to me because I would love nothing more than to do a big ass mural. I mean, God, that would be so fun. I love whimsy, and I love being deep inside a project that takes months. Like this collection, this piece that I'm working on right here is part of my collection called Pink Lemonade. And that collection took me 6 to 7 months to, from start to finish to complete. And by the end, I was getting a little bit tired of it, mostly because I felt like I really wanted that feeling of accomplishment of being done. So that was interesting for me because normally I'm like, I want a bigger project, even bigger each time, right? So that was interesting for me because now I know, okay, 6 months is a good length for a project for me. But also if I want it to be like even longer, if I know it's gonna take me a long time, then it's okay. But when I was doing my first collection, which is Pink Lemonade, I did not know what to expect. And it just felt like I miscalculated by a long shot in my head how long it would take me. I thought, I'll probably be able to do it in like 4 or 5 months. Boy, was I wrong. I did have to set back the debut date for my debut party here in my home by a month because there was no way I could possibly finish it. But that last month I was very, very busy, or the last 2 to 3 months, I was very busy. And you can see why, because look at how time consuming it is to work on these paintings. Like you can see I have sped this up, but I wish I would have known. I wish I could communicate to myself from then. As I'm watching this voiceover, I'm going, ooh, I wish I could tell me, ditch the liner brush, use a wide flat brush, and try to do it faster because you have a lot of work ahead of you and you need to speed up early in the process. Don't save all the work till the end. Everyone knows this, okay? And I didn't do it on purpose, but next time I do a collection, I will have a much better understanding of exactly how long it takes me. Don't you just love these sunset tulips? They were this beautiful coral before. I added some magenta and some almost lavender shades to it, and I was in love. And these are the limeade portion of the painting. I love the bright colors. I think they're so gorgeous. Here I'm going in with some shading to really like add so much depth into this puffball. I don't even know what flower this is, to be honest. And I usually know the flowers, so that's fun for me. But you know what? They were the limeade portion, but they just weren't enough to warrant that name. So here I'm just going to go into the back of the painting and I'm going to add some tape to keep that back nice and clean and keep paint from sticking to the underside. And we are going to go in with this gorgeous blush pink, blush coral. it's right there on the peachy side, and white. And then we're gonna go in with my amazing joint compound that I love to use for texture, and we're gonna make the most beautiful textured background for these great flowers we've just made. I love it. I love going in with my palette knife and just choosing like first one color to really mix in the joint compound, and then kind of like spreading that out to make sure that that color has like a nice big section before I start going into the peachiness, because I really wanted a marbled look. And if you want it to be marbled, you're going to have to commit to large sections being just one color, because the more and more you work on this, this mixing motion, the more you are going to homogenize those colors and make it blend into one shade. And I didn't want just the one shade. I wanted to have the multiple shades and textures going on. And you can see the beautiful stucco texturing that is starting to come out. I love this background. I love doing this type of background, not just for the look, but because I love the process so much and I just want to be in the process. And it's such a great way to practice being present every time I work on these paintings, because I hate it when they're over so quickly. And yet, okay, they're always over way too quickly for my liking. But isn't that just how life is, right? So here we have all the elements. We have the background, which is drying here. My phone cut off before I painted the little table section and added my signature, because I was filming so much content that my phone just couldn't keep up and like keep taking long videos for me. And then we've got this really great vase that I love. I feel like it mirrors the shape of the canvas, and it's so simple that with all these intricate flowers and detailed flowers, it has this really nice proportion and contrast. And I really enjoy that. I like that a lot. And I wanted it to be dead center, so I was trying to mark it with the ruler straight down the middle. And then we are, of course, going to go in and lay out all these flowers to see how I like the layout, because sometimes I lay it out and I'm like, oh, I need more or I need less flowers than I anticipated. Now, I always try to paint extra flowers, right, and create them ahead of time. You can always use less than what you have, but if you don't have enough, that's gonna be a problem. Especially if you can't mix the exact shade all over again. Ooh, don't ask me how I learned. I love these vase on a table things I've been doing. I've made a lot of paintings this way recently, and I love them. It feels very Bridgerton-esque. It feels very tea party-like to just have this stucco background and then put a vase with 3D flowers. Like, I love the combination of it all. It's so fun for me, I love my pink nails in this video. They are so colorful, and the way they catch the light is so pretty. I love pink. It's my favorite color in the world. I know you can't tell. Oh wait, yes you can. But my gosh, I love it, When I was young, I didn't really love the idea of loving pink, because I'd heard so many comments like, oh, run like a girl, throw like a girl, cry like a girl, right? And all of these were like bad things, right? At least people made them sound like it was shameful to be that way. So I didn't want to like things that were girly, because I was afraid that people wouldn't respect me and people wouldn't treat me well. And so I didn't want to like pink. And as I got older, I have been able to find this beautiful sensation of like being okay with what I like, and it doesn't matter how it makes other people feel. And I think that's been such a valuable development for me as a person. And I love it. I love loving what I enjoy, you know? All right, let's start piping this beautiful background. Don't you just love how delicious this paint looks? I mean, hashtag don't eat my paintings, okay? But it does look a little bit like buttercream. I know. I will admit. Look at that gorgeous peony. Oh my gosh, I am so pleased with how they turned out. I always love it when my flowers just, you know, you can hold like an image in your brain and be like, I know what I want it to look like. But then to have that painting or that flower, whatever you're making, to have it turn out just the way you wanted, maybe even better, now that is a great feeling and I love it so much. Look at that tulip. I love the color blending I did. The shading. Ooh, so pretty. And this part of the process always takes me a long time because each flower has to be placed very intentionally. And if you don't think about it enough, then you start squishing around the paint underneath and it starts like squishing onto the surrounding areas. And you do not want to make a mistake. So if you can, be slow and methodical in this part of the process. It is a very good thing because you won't be as likely to have to fix mistakes. Although sometimes you still need to like pull a flower off and put another one back in, right? But as long as you're careful and slow with it and you keep looking at it. So like when I'm sitting for a lot of it, I like to stand up and look at it from like a higher perspective. And then also, if I'm standing, I like to sit down and I like to look at it from the side as well, because it's very important to me with the 3D paintings that there's not an ugly side, like, oh, you look at it from the side and ooh, that looks rough. No, I want to make sure that it's all incorporated. I want to make sure that it looks as good as possible from every angle. And so I take a lot of time, and I hope with each painting that I make that I get just a little bit better and that I continue making progress and becoming a better artist, a better arranger of flowers, and a better flower recreator, you know? Because I really want to recreate all the wedding bouquets in the world, you know? And in order to be able to do that, I have to be the best Amber I can be. So if you haven't yet had me recreate your wedding bouquet, you know you can head on over to my website and you can actually see all the custom options I have. And I would love, love, love to make you the most special bouquet ever. I mean, ooh, I love what I do, and I love making people smile. I love bringing you delight and whimsy and bringing your most favorite flowers with the sweetest memories attached to them to life. You know, that is just, it's such a passion of mine, you know? And I love when I'm making these paintings and I'm just thinking how happy someone is gonna be when they look at this and they go, oh my gosh, that is so cool. I've never seen anything like it. I'm always designing with the idea of this shock and awe and just delight. And I hope so much that it takes you back to this place of childhood, this place of just whimsy and believing in magic and being so alive and energetic because you just feel so connected to the elements around you. And when I'm making these bouquets, I try my best to be in this passionate, loving, magical headspace because it helps me bring the magic to the canvas. And I really hope that each time you see one of my paintings, you just feel the magic. You feel all of the good energies that I try to put in them. I just feel like we don't ever have to outgrow magical thinking. We can just incorporate it into our daily life by doing the things that we love to do in a way that feels new and innovative and refreshing and fun. And that's why I love doing 3D painting. It is new and innovative and fun. And my favorite subject is forever and will always be flowers. I love flowers so much. They have always been my favorite thing. Thank you so much for watching my content. I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.